Welcome to NACTV Reads the News. My name is Gwen Jacobsen, and I'm one of many volunteers that help create programming for our station. NACTV can be seen on MTS Channel 30 or 1030, Westman Cable Channel 17, Bell Satellite Channel 592, or online at nactv.tv. These programs are made possible by our volunteers, staff, advertisers, as well as donations made by you, the viewers. If you are enjoying your NACTV experience, please consider supporting us by either donation or volunteering. You can contact our office at 204-476-2639 or at nactv@wcgwave.ca. This week's edition of the Neepawa Banner and Press is dated Friday, July 26, 2024. On the front page, we have some pictures of a hectic weekend in Neepawa with a variety of events going on all at once. On Saturday, July the 20th, there was the third annual Riverbend Arts Forward Farmery Tours event, also known as R.A.F.T. R.A.F.T. As well, Margaret Lawrence Home held the Manawanka Garden Party, and the rescheduled Canada Day festivities took place at the Flats as it had rained on July the 1st. And here, so we have somebody painting a bench here, some artwork outside, horse-drawn carriage rides, and of course, everybody's favorite fireworks. And on the back page, it has a little bit more. They had bouncy castles going down at the Flats. And they also had looks like a train ride almost. Tractor pulling some kids on a ride. This is Arts Forward again. People were painting benches to put around the town. They had music going on at the Flats, and this looks like spinning wheels. There were huge crowds out across the community for these events, which featured music, games, art, and much more. Great. So here's another article about the third annual R.A.F.T. Making a Splash in Neepawa by Casper Werhan. Neepawa was home to a whole host of activities on July the 20th. Part of those activities was the third annual Riverbend Arts Forward Farmery Tours event, also known as R.A.F.T. R.A.F.T. This community and art-focused event features a variety of activities each year, such as live painting, music, and more. Yvonne Sisley, administrator of Arts Forward, noted that this event stemmed from the notion that the Arts Forward Art and Culture Center wanted to make Neepawa an art destination. And what better way to do that than to art bomb the town? This project began with an installation that visitors to Arts Forward are likely familiar with. It started with a vibrantly painted piano out front of Arts Forward and then morphed into painted benches throughout the downtown core, said Sisley. We are extremely fortunate to have a wealth of talented artists in our area, with many of them meeting at Arts Forward on Wednesdays to art together in the gallery. They all donate their time and talents to this once-a-year event to beautify our town with a splash of color and design on each of the benches. The first round of this bench-based art bombing was earmarked with last year's event. In keeping with this spirit and theme, the 2024 edition of R.A.F.T. featured 8 local artists who participated in painting a fresh round of benches. These benches will be placed in various locations throughout Neepawa. These locations are Gill and Schmall, Touchwood Park accessible playground area, Neepawa Gladstone Co-op, Stonehouse Physio, Mull and Sky, and Dairy Queen. In addition to these art installments, there was also a mystery piece revealed that day. Phil Can was surprised with a bench from Arts Forward that was painted by Filipino artist Adrian Malvazar, with the location to be unveiled at a later date, said Cicely. She added Arts Forward has also added a raffle for a special bench created by artist Kennedy Baker, inspired by her love for hockey and her job as an engineer at G&J Arena in Brandon. In addition to these vibrant and creative new benches, R.A.F.T also featured a variety of other artworks, including intricate recycled gowns from the Filipino Heritage Fashion Show. These gowns, made entirely from recycled items, are a must-see, Cicely enthused. Arts Forward will have them on display for the next few weeks, allowing the community a chance to see these amazing creations up close. And I happened to be in there yesterday and saw them, and they are gorgeous. And I also saw them on Filipino Day at the arena. Also contributing to the day's activities were a free barbecue by Neepawa Gladstone Co-op, featuring their specialty roe burgers, beverages from Farmery Estate Brewery, as well as tours of the brewing facility, the Margaret Lawrence Home's own garden party event, and a late addition to R.A.F.T itself by Neepawa Tourism after having shifted away from its annual Riverbend market for this year. That addition being the midday street party hosted on Bourke Street beside Arts Forward. This change was warmly welcomed by Arts Forward as the presence of talented bands created a true festival atmosphere. Cicely added, and the roe burgers were well received by the several hundred attendees. In her final comments, Cicely made note of the event's development on behalf of Arts Forward, stating, "This event continues to grow each year, evolving into a true community celebration, thanks to the partnerships between artists, organizations, and businesses." Arts Forward emphasized that the event's success is due to the contributions of Men's Shed Neepawa, Farmery Brewery, Neepawa Gladstone Co-op, Neepawa Tourism, and all the participating artists. These artists are Gwen, Shannon Desjardins, Megan Peters, Adrian Malvazar, Christian Lopez, Katie Martin, Kennedy Baker, Faye Cramond and Leanne Cramond, Jody Baker, and Lynn Ranger. Cicely expanded further, noting that Men's Shed Neepawa dedicated their time and hard work each year to craft the benches for this event, making the R.A.F.T event day possible. Providing a final comment on the day, on behalf of the Arts Center, Cicely stated, "It was a day brimming with art and creativity in Neepawa, and we look forward to next year's R.A.F.T, which will be held on July the 19th, 2025. And here's a couple more pictures of the benches that were painted and the recycled materials that made these outfits that were worn during the Filipino Heritage Month fashion show. Now, at the Roxy Theatre, July 31st and August 1st, the show being featured is called Inside Out 2. Follows Riley in her teenage years encountering new emotions. Showtime 7:30 p.m. Then the weekend after, August 7th and 8th, the showtime is 7:30 p.m. Actually, that's not the weekend, I don't think. But August 7th and 8th, the featured movie is called Despicable Me 4. They've made 4 of those movies already. I'll come back to this one. All right, Out of Helen's Kitchen by Helen Drysdale. This week, she is featuring raspberries, which are in full bloom now. Freshly picked raspberries taste so much better than the store-bought ones. They will take your taste buds on an amazing journey. When you're picking raspberries, if you have to tug at the berry, it's not ready to be picked. Ripe raspberries, when slightly pulled, will fall into your hand without effort. They do not continue to ripen after they are picked, so pick with care. So, a refreshing treat for the big or little kids in your life are the following recipes: raspberry popsicles, raspberry crumble bars, and chicken spinach raspberry salad. That sounds interesting. Now we have quite the picture here from the Beautiful Plains Museum history. This is the Mountain Road Church. The church pictured here is often known as the Mountain Road Church and was located at Mountain Road in the rural municipality of Rosedale. This particular cathedral was built between 1924 and 25 under the supervision of Father Philip Rue, using free lumber and volunteer labor, with a total cost being $18,000. What? It was shaped like a cross and had the capacity for several hundreds of parishioners, featuring 130 glass windows, an interior painted with brightly colored murals, and had no pews or electricity. Any light not provided by nature was given as the churchgoers stood with candles during services. This church was built to replace the original, the St. Mary's Ukrainian Catholic Church, which stood at Mountain Road from 1904 to 25. The Mountain Road settlement had grown over the years, outgrowing this church and thus requiring the larger one to be built in 1924-25. That is a huge church. And there's a note. With the first Ukrainian settlers arriving to the region in 1896, they first attended church services at Huns Valley, now better known as Polonia. This had continued until a committee was formed to build a log church within the community on land that was donated by an individual named Matt Baraniak. The large, iconic church would unfortunately be struck by lightning on August 19th, 1966. As a result of the strike, the cathedral burnt to the ground. Another church was built to replace the burnt one, costing $93,000, and still remains there today. The first Mass held in that third church took place on March 11th, 1968. A monument commemorating the very first St. Mary's Ukrainian Catholic Church was dedicated on July the 24th, 2004. Now, there's a Calwood Agricultural Fair coming up August the 10th in memory of Dwayne Stewart, longtime president. There's going to be horse shows, a memorial show and shine, a Legion canteen, a fire hall canteen, a parade, bouncy castles, a supper, a pie baking contest. Wow, good old-fashioned fair at Calwood. All right. Concerns raised in Neepawa over e-bikes and scooters usage by Owen Devereaux. The town of Neepawa is being asked to strictly enforce its local bylaws when it comes to the operation of e-bikes or scooters. An electrically assisted pedal cycle, called an e-bike, has a similar frame to a standard bicycle, but also has an option of electronic propulsion. The most High-powered varieties of these vehicles can often travel more than 45 kilometers an hour. An e-scooter, meanwhile, is a two-wheeled platform vehicle that can reach a maximum speed of 24 kilometers an hour on a level surface. The use of these varieties of transportations has taken off in interest locally in the last 2 years. The town's manager of operations, Denny Sekwe, recently informed council that they have received several calls about the unsafe use of those devices, primarily on sidewalks. Sekwe said any type of this vehicle with a wheelbase larger than 16 inches, not operated by a child, cannot be used on the walkways. Any bigger than that, the 16-inch wheel, you have to ride on the street. Neepawa is not the only community that is dealing with this issue, as the city of Morden just recently instituted new safety initiative in response to this technology. E-bikes and e-scooters are not yet regulated in Manitoba. Right, here is a beautiful picture of a crop for hay producers. Timely and heavy rainfall, along with hot sunny weather, has produced some huge hay crops across Manitoba. This field is located in the McGregor area, and the photo shows a huge second cut alfalfa crop. Next, we have Neepawa's recycling efforts flatline year over year by Owen Devereaux. New members from Multi-Material Stewardship of Manitoba, also known as MMSM, suggest that recycling in Neepawa has hit a plateau. Multi-Materials is a non-for-profit that funds and provides support for the province's residential recycling programs for packaging and printed paper. In its recently released report for 2023, the amount of recycling per capita, which is the average amount contributed per person in Neepawa, fell ever so slightly. In 2022, the town provided 255,240 kilograms of recycling to the program, an amount of 44.9% per capita. For 2023, that amount dropped to 253,210 kilograms, or 45.5% per capita. That amounts to a decrease of less than 1%, 0.4, year over year. Other notable results from around the region include Minnedosa, with a 6% decrease in recycling year over year, Carberry, who saw a 6% increase, and the municipality of Westlake Gladstone, which had a drop of 9%. The full results from all participating communities can be found online at stewardshipmanitoba.org. The town of Neepawa has been notified of these results and is planning to continue to promote the benefits of recycling locally. A reminder as well for everyone on the types of items that cannot be recycled. The following items would be considered contamination according to provincial regulations. So these ones, the following cannot be recycled: straws, coffee pods, disposable coffee cups and lids, example from Tim Hortons and McDonald's, styrofoam, clothing and textiles, aluminum foil and plates, plastic pouches and laminates, such as chip bags as an example. So please remember those rules. So a couple more pictures from the Beautiful Plains Museum history. This one is about the Airport Control Tower tour. Pictured here are some scenes from a tour of the Neepawa Airport's control tower, possibly taken in or around 1962. Technology has come a long way, so a tour of such a facility as it appeared back then would certainly be a marvel even today. Pretty old-fashioned. All right, next we have an article about Valley Life Recreation announces Ride Like Oli 2024. 3 years ago, this August, Valley Life Recreation hosted a special 172-kilometer single-day mountain bike ride that came to significantly impact the lives of many people. From the 7 participating riders that day to the thousands of others who came to know the story of Oli Hay through news of this ride, Ride Like Oli became something far greater than anyone imagined. The ride became part of what started a massive movement of inspiring others to get outdoors in the way that Oli lived for and with the principles that guided his every day. 2024 begins a brand new chapter where everyone with a bike is invited to become a part of the Ride Like Oli story. With the support of Oli's family, Ride Like Oli is now an event where everyone, from novice to experienced, can join together and celebrate Oli's story, become inspired by how he lived while crushing some personal goals on the trail. It is time to invite everyone to Ride Like Oli. On Sunday, August 18th, 2024, Valley Life Recreation, in collaboration with Oli's family and some very special partners, will host Ride Like Oli 2024 at the brand new Squirrel Hills Trail Park in Minnedosa, Manitoba. The riding will take place over a 5-kilometer route on the newly built trails in the beautiful Squirrel Hills Trail Park. Each kilometer lap has about 75 meters of elevation and will take anywhere from 20 to 60 minutes depending on the rider. 5 unique lap distance events are planned for the day, including a 1 lap, 2 lap, 5 lap, along with a 10 lap and 20 lap event for those who want to push their ability to the max. This event is for everyone, from families who want to bring their children out for a 1 or 2 lap ride to advanced riders who want to find the outer limits of their abilities. Oli always welcomed everyone, and this event will embody that same spirit. Staggered group starts for each event will ensure that everyone, regardless of their event, ends up finishing at relatively similar times. The event will culminate with countless high fives, great vibes, music, food, and the best festival-style atmosphere. Full registration details, event day schedule, and complete ride information is available online at the Ride Like Oli 2024 registration page. Limited registration spots are available for each distance event. So for more information, please see www.valleyliferec.ca. All riders will be supported with snacks, drinks, and gummies. Gummies were always a critical part of what kept Oli going on the trail. And it goes on to say, every pre-registered rider will also get a Ride Like Oli finisher water bottle, Ride Like Oli decal, a Ride Like Oli custom and personalized bike plate, great volunteer support crew at the brand new park trailhead, the chance to win prizes, and we guarantee epic vibes from everyone the whole day. In line with Valley Life Recreation's Outdoors for Everyone motto and respecting Oli's love of ensuring everyone had access to trails, registrants may use a special coupon code to zero the cost of registration for the 1 or 2 lap events. If you have a bike and want to participate fully, but cost is a barrier, please use the coupon code OLI for everyone to join the 1 or 2 lap event with all of the benefits of a fully registered rider. Ride Like Oli 2024 is being made possible by the support of some incredible partners. They are Nutrient Ag Solutions, Stream and Wood, Synovus Energy, Remax Valley View Realty Limited, A&L Cycle, and Heritage Co-op. If you would like to become a supporter of Ride Like Oli 2024, all personal contributions are tax deductible and can be made online. Event pre-registration is required and due by August 2nd for those who also want to order a special edition Ride Like Oli Tech t-shirt. Wednesday, August 7th is the registration cutoff date to guarantee your personalized custom Ride Like Oli bike plate. Registrations after August 7th and the day of walk-up registrations may be accepted depending on event availability. To guarantee your participation, please register early. We cannot wait to welcome everyone to the brand new trailhead of the Squirrel Hills Trail Park for Ride Like Oli 2024 on August 18th, 2024. Get your limited registration spot today. More information is available at www.valleyliferec.ca. And here's a couple of pictures from 2021. Ride Like Oli cycling team members who set out on a fundraiser bike ride in honor of the late Oli Hai. Cycling was one of Oli's favorite outdoor activities. And here the team on the first leg of their challenging journey. And here's the team towards the end of their journey. Their ride that year stretched from Inglis to Riding Mountain National Park. And this is one other picture too. Members of the 2021 Ride Like Oli cycling team as they appeared at one of their final rest stops before continuing on to the finish line. That team raised over $27,000 in honor of the late Oli, who was a young and aspiring athlete. The funds raised were donated to the Squirrel Hills Trail Park in Minnedosa, which is the one that they'll be riding on this summer. All right, what do we have next? Farmers Advocate, 2024 Manitoba Youth Beef Roundup. In less than a week's time, 102 junior beef producers, the largest group of juniors to date, will gather in Neepawa, Manitoba for the 17th annual Manitoba Youth Beef Roundup weekend. The event takes place from August 2nd to 4th at the Beautiful Plains Ag Society in Neepawa. The theme for this year is Back to the Basics. Juniors aged 6 to 25 from Manitoba, Northern Ontario, and Southeast Saskatchewan will compete in competitions like judging, showmanship, grooming, graphic design, art, photography, and sales talk, to name a few. The weekend starts off with an ag challenge involving life learning skills, then on to the educational workshops on hair care and grooming, herd health protocols, and record keeping on verified beef programs. The senior members will be given ideas on how to complete an award or a job application and mock interviews. Saturday, August 3rd, will focus on judging cattle, sheep, and other classes. The senior and intermediate members will be competing to try and earn a spot on the Manitoba Youth Beef Roundup Agribition judging team. Pee-wee and juniors will be learning basic skills like halter making, farm safety, and washing your calf, etc. The afternoon on Saturday will focus on team grooming and team judging, and usually the highlight of the weekend is the cook-off competition. The team members will work together to prepare a meal for the judges using steaks. Along with the presentation is the extravagant costumes and unique recipes. Sunday, August 4th is our cattle show day with 118 head of all breeds of beef cattle, along with a big number of commercial females. Showmanship is before lunch, and the cattle show begins at 1, with 2 rings going at once. A highlight of the weekend is the parade of champion 4-H heifers and the supreme champion female. This is a must-see event. To round off the weekend will be the awards banquet and supper. Anyone who is interested in the beef industry and juniors that are the future of the beef industry is invited to come out and watch the enthusiasm and dedication they have for the beef industry. Now, a couple of other farming articles. Crop Field Day set for July 1st in Portage la Prairie by Sean Kabak. The Crop Research Organization of Portage, known as CROP, will hold their summer tour on Wednesday, July 31st, starting at 10 a.m. to showcase their variety trials and discuss several important crop production related topics. The tour will start at the corner of the Trans-Canada Highway and Angle Road, next to Prairie Abattoir, looking at the variety trials for wheat, oats, barley, corn, fall rye, and winter wheat, which are carried out in cooperation with the Manitoba Crop Variety Evaluation Team. CROP is a non-profit group directed by local farmers and industry for local farmers. By belonging to CROP, you receive the local variety trial information. For membership information, please contact Jill Verway at 204-428-5074. Membership is based on an acreage fee of 10 cents of cultivated acre with a minimum of $75 and a maximum of $300. Topics to be discussed include the importance of adjuvants and surfactants in spraying efficacy, tile drainage to improve your land and crop production, insect disease and research update in pulse crops and soybeans, and a tour of the crop wheat, oats, barley, and fall cereal trials. So, also by Sean Kabak, harvesting annual forage crops. Annual forage crops being grown for green feed or silage will be getting close to the optimal stage of maturity for harvest. Annual crops harvested on a timely basis makes excellent quality feed and can be harvested as a green feed, chopped silage, or a baled silage. Advantages of harvesting feed as silage is ensiling will lower nitrate levels if they are present, field losses are smaller, and silage harvest is less weather dependent. Timing of cutting green feed or silage is a factor in feed quality and yield. The optimal time of harvesting most cereals is in the soft dough stage. Oats should be cut in the late milk stage, and millet or sorghum can be cut after heading. At this stage, quality and yield is maximized. Peas can be cut at pod wrinkle or, if in a mixture with the cereal, harvest according to the earlier crop. Work done at the University of Saskatchewan has shown harvesting at a more mature stage will increase the overall feed production value compared to less mature stages at harvest. All right. Well, next we have an interesting article about some men from Gladstone. It's called "Enjoying a Round of Golf Never Gets Old" by Owen Devereaux. There's something to be said about having an old, reliable routine to your day once you've hit retirement age. For 20 years, the members of the Gladstone Dinosaurs have had that routine figured out, and in a way that's fun and beneficial to both themselves and their community. Started in 2004, the group, known locally as the Dinosaurs, are a collection of golfers, mostly over the age of 65, that play around at the Gladstone Golf and Country Club every morning. The membership numbers have changed over the years, at one time ballooning to a maximum of 36 players. This year, it has settled back down to a collective of 21 players, with 10 of those regulars over the age of 80. The oldest active member currently is Alan Stewart, who is just short of 90 years of age. But while the numbers may ebb and flow and the faces may change from day to day, make no mistake, if you're in Gladstone for an early morning tea time, a dinosaur is following you on the greens. The Banner and Press recently decided to get out of the office for the day and joined the group for a round. Gary Bowden, who is the dinosaur's official statistician, also served as our unofficial guide. At that time, a pair of trios from the group, as well as an unofficial dinosaur for the day who was visiting from Swan River, were out playing on the 9-hole course. To keep things interesting, everyone kicks in $1 a day and the winning team shares the pot. Bowden said while there is a set group that are out almost every day, everyone is welcome to join, adding, "You don't even need to be a dinosaur to be a member of this club." We've had a couple from Brandon come out and we said, "Sure, you can join us. Just kick in $1," and we work them into the group and it's just a good time. We even had a husband and wife from California join up twice. They came back a second time because they knew we'd be out here. Over the years, we've had players from many other Manitoba communities, as well as Saskatchewan, Alberta, and even, as I said, California. If you like the game, you're more than welcome. The mission statement of the golf group extends beyond playing a round of 9, though, as they also support the Gladstone Golf and Country Club with more than just a membership. Carrie McLennan noted that the dinosaurs help look after the driving range, with Kim Kerr serving as the manager. When needed, they also do what they can to assist in clearing dead trees and brush, maintain cart paths, and doing little extras for the exterior clubhouse and deck maintenance. On top of all that, they assisted with the construction and maintenance of 3 course bridges, including one with an extra bit of significance to it. The Memorial Bridge is located on the 4th hole and has the names of every member of the dinosaurs who has passed away attached to it. A tree is also planted along the course for each of those individuals. McLennan said the golf club holds a special meaning to each of its members, so commemorating them in this way is something everyone involved appreciates and respects greatly. At the end of the round, everyone heads back to the clubhouse for a cup of coffee. Bowden noted the whole experience only takes up a few hours of the day, though there are some dinosaurs that'll head right back out there and do it again the same day. He said they are all passionate about the game of golf and what it gives back to them on a daily basis. We all love to play and it keeps us all going and active. Might not hit off the tees as far as we used to, but it still keeps us going. As long as we can do this, we will, and that includes those following behind us. The dinosaurs have been around a while, and I think we'll be here for a little while longer. So these are just some pictures of them, some of them, and here they are putting on the green. And this is part of the dinosaur memorial. In here we have some people that have passed away. Dick Graham in 2022, Neville Skanderbeg 2022, Les Foxon 2018, Walter Moskrip 2021, Jack Braden 2018, Joe Fraser 2016, Bevan Moskrip 2017, Malcolm Graham 2015, Don Mustard 2013, Robert Wilson 2014. Aw, that's so cool. So we have a sports page now. The Neepawa Blue Dolphins compete at the Pan Am Pool. Swimmers with the Neepawa Blue Dolphins had the blessed opportunity to compete at the Pan Am Pool in Winnipeg on Sunday, July 21st. For many, it was the first time to race 50 meters one way, as opposed to the summer pools of 25 meters. The action was electric, with many close finishes. In one race, Neepawa captured first, second, third, fifth, and seventh place. These are the final results for the meet. In the 8 and under girls, Charlize McSimmet came first in the 50-meter backstroke, 50-meter butterfly, and second in the 50-meter breaststroke. In the age 9 to 10 girls, Nora Grace Reed came in second in the 100-meter breast, the 50-meter fly, came in fourth in the 100-meter free, and came in sixth in the 50-meter free. Riley Wilson came in first in the 50-meter back, 100-meter back, 50-meter free, and 50-meter fly. And Julia Pollock came in sixth in the 50-meter back and 50-meter breast. She came in third in the 100-meter free and seventh in the 50-meter free. In the age 11-12 girls, Sasha Akri came in fourth in the 100-meter breast, fifth in the 100-meter back, eighth in the 50-meter breast, and 11th in the 100-meter breast. Rosie Frowerk came in third in the 100-meter back, fourth in the 50-meter back, 13th in the 50-meter free and 50-meter breast. And Neepawa Lissaway came in third in the 50-meter back and fourth in the 50-meter breast. In the age 13 to 14 girls, Anne Crossan came in first in the 50-meter back, 50-meter free, 50-meter fly, and 50-meter breast. Woo, she did good there. Good for her. Sydney Wolf came in third in the 50-meter breast and 100-meter breast, fifth in the 50-meter back, and eighth in the 50-meter free. Maya Gingras came in second in the 50-meter back, 50 fly, 100-meter free, and third in the 50-meter free. Kendra Ott came in second in the 100-meter back, third in the 50-meter back, fifth in the 50-meter breast. And Carly Stralzik came in seventh in the 50-meter back. Now, in the age 15 to 17-year-old girls, Cami Smith came in first in the 200-meter free and 200-meter breast, and second in the 50-meter free and 200-meter IM. Aaliyah Jacobsen came in third in the 50-meter back. Claire Ann Howe came in second in the 50-meter fly and fourth in the 50-meter breast. Ashley Nadeau came in first in the 200-meter free, the 200-meter IM. She came in second in the 100-meter breast and the 50-meter free. Alyssa Nadeau came in first in the 200-meter breast and the 50-meter breast. She came in third in the 100-meter breast and the fifth in the 200-meter IM. Now for the boys section, age 9 and 10, Tanner Gingras came in second in the 50-meter breast, third in the 50-meter back, and 50-meter free. And Sum King Chan came in first in the 50-meter breast. In the boys 11 and 12-year age group, Joey Smith came in first in the 50-meter fly, second in the 50-meter breast, and third in the 100-meter breast and 50-meter free. And Austin Nadeau came in fifth in the 50-meter back, 100-meter back, sixth in the 100-meter free, and seventh in the 50-meter free. And lastly, in the boys aged 13 to 14 category, JC Smith came in first in the 50-meter back, third in the 50-meter fly, and fifth in the 50-meter free. Once again, the Dolphins had standout performances from Alyssa, Ashley, and Austin Nadeau, but as they participate in winter swim with Brandon, then their times, place, and team points do not count. Next up is Beausejour, this coming Sunday, July the 28th. Okay, on to baseball. The bats of the Minnesota Mavericks were on fire for Game 1 of their SCBL postseason series versus the Carberry Royals, leading to a 10-2 victory. The Mavericks scored early and often with a 5-run rally in the third inning, which included a 3-run homer from John Hutton. Minnesota's Josh McInnes also hit a solo home run in the fourth. Pitcher Devin Ford threw a complete game victory for the Mavericks, striking out 7 against just 1 walk. Warren Birch was tagged with the loss for the Royals, surrendering 7 runs in just 3 innings. The win gave Minnesota a 1-0 lead in the best-of-3 game series, with Game 2 scheduled to be played in Carberry on Wednesday, July 24th, which was shortly after the Banner and Press publication deadline. Then, also with baseball, some late game heroics from Nolan Marriott propelled the Austin A's to a 3-1 win over the Plumas Pirates in Game 1 of their Santa Clara Baseball League playoff series. Marriott, who was in his first year with the A's, hammered a 2-run home run in the top of the 7th to stun both the Pirates and their fans, who were out in full force for this opening game of the best-of-3 series. Austin pitcher Alex Clausen collected the complete game win, striking out 7 while surrendering just a pair of walks. Plumas' Ryland Dembo had a comparable night on the mound, also striking out 6 over the course of a complete game. The win gave the A's the 1-0 series lead heading into Game 2 at home in Austin. That game is scheduled for Wednesday, July 24th. Game 3, if needed, would follow on Thursday, July 25th in Plumas. Now, here we have quite the picture to show you. Again, it's an archive picture from the Beautiful Plains Museum. Neepawa Bantams win provincial championship. Guess from which year? This historic picture is of the Neepawa Double B hockey team, photographed for the 1948-49 series. They were the Manitoba Bantam Double B champions that year, bringing home the Clint Bennett Memorial Trophy. All right. Read those. All right, so we read this already, but we didn't read this. Emmeline School District by Casper Werhan. Neepawa Banner and Press reader Rob Smith shared an item with the paper in relation to education's past this week. This item was a monument in commemoration of the Emmeline School District and all who served the district and the community. The following information is a culmination of details from the Manitoba Historical Society, providing background on Emmeline School number 683 and the district. The Emmeline School District was first established in April of 1891 within what is now known as the municipality of North Norfolk. The building for Emmeline School itself was erected on the northeast corner of 2311 West. That land had been sold to the school district by farmer Thomas Cairns for a grand total of $1. Certainly quite the deal. Then in 1936, 2 land parcels immediately adjacent to the school were purchased for $20 and a shelter belt of fir trees planted around it. Those trees are reportedly still standing to this day. You can see them in the background. Emmeline School operated until 1959, when trustees decided to close the school and send its remaining students by bus to McGregor School to continue their education. After the closure of the school, the building and site were sold to local residents. Years later, in 1965, the catchment area then became a part of the McGregor Consolidated School District. The monument shown in the photo featured with this article was built in 1975 and is topped by the original school bell. For a full list of teachers who worked at Emmeline School, please visit www.mbca/docs/emelineschool.shtml. All right, volunteers help finalize new basketball courts in Neepawa. On Monday, June 22nd, a group of volunteers painted lines on the new basketball court at the Baptist Church in Neepawa. Church volunteer Bryce Parrott and Muriel Gammy, as well as Grant Jaime Hurl and a group of high school lads, stepped up to help with the work. They were soon assisted by some new High Life employees who had originally just came over to use the courts for a game, but instead enthusiastically joined in the painting party. The church laid new pavement and erected the hoops, while the town of Neepawa donated the special line marking paint. The church also installed a volleyball net as well. It's absolutely awesome. The Baptist Church would put this together for anyone to use, said Jaime. The least I do is volunteer the NACI students to come assist us all with painting the lines. And here's a picture of the group helping. All right, and we saw that already, so we'll go back. Okay, Homebodies by Rita Friesen. This week it's entitled Noisy New Neighbors. I confess that I watched with interest as the couple moved in and began to set up housekeeping. Not that I could watch them from the kitchen window, but coming down the street and turning into my driveway gave me a clear, unobstructed view of their activities. So I watched, checking progress every time I took a walk or a drive. They started out as a pretty average household. Then the kids became more active, visible, and vocal. The squawking and flapping, calling for food was never ending, and I remembered that it is summertime. I noticed other things with the new neighbors as well. In a very short time, there were vacant houses in the vicinity. Good, well-built homes were now unoccupied. It was disturbing. Along with the vacant homes, there came a silence other than the hullabaloo from the interlopers. There were no morning songs or evening songs filling the air. One morning, as I drew back the drapes, I made eye contact with one of the adults calmly sitting at the end of the driveway, sipping away at their water. It was a beady, hooded glare, and I withdrew. I decided, right or wrong, to research the new residents. Falco sparvaris, formerly known as sparrowhawk, in reality an American kestrel? No, more like a merlin, but because we are Canadian prairie, it could be a prairie falcon. That's the one I'm settling on for now. The description in the bird book fits. The large species, like the prairie falcon, prey mostly on other birds, which they sometimes pick out of the air in spectacular dives, striking with extended talons. There's one little wren, her home hidden in the grapevines in my backyard, that is still cautiously moving around my backyard. And a brown thrasher, really quite large, is still flitting in the area. I have found feathers scattered in the garden and the sparrow that had nested in the birdhouse by the driveway is not around. Like most members of the family, this species isn't much of a nest builder. The female lays her eggs on top of a high, isolated cliff ledge, or she may also take over the abandoned nest of another bird, commonly a raven. That makes sense too. The family lives in the very top of an evergreen overlooking the railway tracks, also giving the predator a great view of all of the community's backyards. I'm not certain that their diet includes rabbits, but I have not spotted as many cavorting around lately. There could be any number of reasons for that. I can't say that I miss the rabbits and would love to take my garden fence down before I harvest the peas. We'll see. Back to the birds of prey. They have a very piercing cry, and I imagine there are only a couple of fledglings, but gracious me, they set up a ruckus. I have never had the opportunity to watch one of the falcon family up close. They appear fearless. When we locked eyes, I was the first to turn away. Okay, we have a little comic this week. It's called Tundra by Chad Carpenter. Turns out we don't have humps, just bad posture. Oh, brother. All right, Ken Waddell, right in the center. This week, his article is entitled Discerning Right from Wrong. He says, I used to tell my kids, ask yourself if it's right or wrong, and if it's wrong, don't do it. I still think it's a good advice, but in the 40 years since I spread that advice, there's been a deluge of change about what is right or wrong. Not all of the changes have been bad. For example, smoking cigarettes isn't as popular as it once was, and I guess that's a good thing. However, smoking cigars has gained in popularity. Vaping is a big thing now, and now marijuana is legal and promoted. These are really pretty dumb things to do for the individual user and annoying to anyone in the immediate vicinity. I would have to say that smoking used to be bad in my opinion, and it still is. And it's expensive too. Don't complain about your grocery bill if smoking products are on your shopping list. I have a long list of things that I think are wrong. I have often written about them, and I won't bore you by relisting. I am not sure any adult makes successful change in their habits by being told what to do. Children need to be told, but adults should just know better. It's not as if there is shortage of information for adults. I'm more concerned about kids as more and more parents leave the instruction and care of their children to the daycare and the schools. Both adults and children learn more by example. And I'll give you a story about examples. My dad taught me to encourage people and give people choices. At least he did that some of the time. We lived a short 5-mile ride from town, but we didn't run to town every day. Up until my early teens, a trip to town was a bit of a special event. Dad would say, "Do you want to go to town just for company?" Nothing like car rides alone with your kid, even a short ride to stimulate some talk, some rapport. Sometimes I got to go to the stores with my dad, and there I learned about the wide array of food and goods that were available, even in a small town general store. The shoe and boot section had a special smell to it that still causes me some wonder. In the general store, I learned how to budget my money, how to shop, and how to interact with the store staff and owners. If it was only a quick town trip, I had to stay in the truck. Dad would park at the top of the hill on Broadway Avenue in front of the bakery. He would walk down the street, pop into the bank, then the post office, and head back up the hill to pick up a couple of fresh loaves of unsliced bread. Along the way, Dad would talk to people he met, and while I couldn't hear the conversations, I knew from the body language that he left everyone laughing. Keeping people jollied up was one of his many traits. I appreciate all the humorous people in my life, and I wish there were more of them some days. In the intervening 60-plus years between those town trips and now, much has changed. Values are not taught the way they once were. The Lord's Prayer and O Canada are not heard in most schools. Somebody might be offended, you know. Bible stories are non-existent in most schools and indeed in most homes. If people are offended by traditional, time-tested values, then they may be in for a big shock. The upcoming U.S. election and a year from now the Canadian election is going to be all about values. Liberal-minded people are shocked by how popular Donald Trump has become again and how much pressure was put on U.S. President Biden to step aside. The reasons are very clear. People are very tired, disgusted even, at being told what they can say, what they can do, and what ideas and policies they have to adopt, even when it amounts to perversion and stupidity. It doesn't take much research to realize that people are fed up with many ideas that are being foisted on us. I can't predict how elections or the future will unfold, but I do know you can only push and suppress people for limited amounts of time before there will be an eruption. I know my dad would have been well past his emotional breaking point by now, and many of us in the next generation are getting close. All right, Faithfully Yours by Neil Stroshine. This week it's entitled 55 Plus One More, Part 3, The Last. Okay. Many years ago, many more than I can remember, I visited with a member of my church who was about to undergo major surgery the following day. This person, a lady, was well advanced in years. She knew how serious her surgery was and that, because of her age, she might not survive the operation, something she spoke about quite openly. Her next words shocked me. She said, "Neil, I don't want you to pray that I will survive the surgery. And don't pray that I'll die either. Just pray that God's will for me, whatever that is, will be done." Then she told me the following story. The surgeon who was to perform the operation the following morning had just been in to see her. I was quite up front with him. I told him that my trust was with him, but my faith was in God. I told him that if God wants me to die on the operating table, I don't want him to feel bad, because nothing he can do will save me. But if God wants me to survive, nothing he can do will kill me. I thought I was being pretty clever, she continued, but then my doctor took my hands in his and told me that before he ever stepped into the operating room, he would be praying that the God in which he and I both believed would guide his hands so that God's will for me would indeed be done. Her story profoundly influences me to this day. As I write these words, our neighbors south of the 49th parallel are still in shock following an alleged assassination attempt on former President Donald Trump. Time will tell what impact, if any, this event will have in November when the presidential election is held. Canadians will elect a new federal government in October of 25. At the moment, our Prime Minister intends to lead his party into the next election. Time will tell if he gets that opportunity, and if he does, whether or not he will be re-elected. In times like these, I draw much inspiration from the words spoken by my parishioner many years ago. I trust our governments federal, provincial, and local, to pass laws and provide services that will benefit all Canadians equally. But my faith is in the God who holds my future in the palms of his hands. Of him, the ancient prophet wrote, I am the Lord, I do not change. Malachi 3, verse 6. Of his Son we read, Jesus Christ is the same, yesterday, today, and forever. Hebrews 13, verse 8. Human governments come and go. Community leaders do not live forever. Church leaders come to a community for a while and then move on or retire. In this part of Canada, we have seen once vibrant communities decline and in some cases cease to exist altogether. Nothing in this life lasts forever. Nothing, that is, except for God himself. My hope for this country, for our American neighbors, and for all others on the face of this earth is deeply rooted in my personal faith. I'm firmly convinced that as long as there is a God in heaven who works miracles, there is hope for all of us. We can be better people. We can do better in caring for this planet and its people. God can make it happen. We must get out of his way and let him do in and through us what he does best. Now we have yet another historical picture from the beautiful Plains Museum called Target Practice. Not sure if you can see it very clearly because it's a pretty old picture. From 75 years, Neepawa, land of plenty. The district has had many crack shots. In the early days, the rifle club had targets on the side of the hill below the hospital. Later on, it was moved southeast of town. In shooting with the rifle, one thinks of well-known shots such as Robert Hunter of the Union District, Oscar Charlie, and Stan Kerr from Franklin. That's hilarious. Okay, so the only thing I haven't read yet is looking back on page 3. This actually goes back 125 years ago, July 26, 1899. The barn belonging to Hugh Dyer, Bridge Creek, was struck by lightning and burned on Saturday evening last. It contained 1,000 bushels of wheat, 500 bushels of oats and barley, and some implements which were totally destroyed. It is understood that there was only a slight insurance. And 100 years ago, July 25th, 1924, in Eden, Mr. and Mrs. Code and family and the Mrs. Laura and Olive Code returned from Clear Lake on Tuesday to attend Chautauqua. Also from Eden, Mrs. Medill of Clan William and Miss Ina Angus of Kelwood are the guests of their sister, Mrs. Pearson, during Chautauqua week. In Norgate, James and Sam Glover have each constructed large cisterns close to their barns with the idea of storing a quantity of water for the stock. French cooking has always had the reputation of being the most refined when the people of different nations wanted to have extraordinary dishes prepared for their tables. Although it is freely admitted that the French chefs as a whole are a great artists in the art of gastronomy, later years has revealed the fact that the Denmark way of cooking not only favorably competes with the French, but in which is particularly true in respect to fine bakery goods. Years ago, no coffee table was considered complete without an array of French pastry, but today, Danish pastry is the dominating feature on all occasions where sweet goods are served, and for this there are several reasons which have been clearly demonstrated through the efforts of L. Isle of Læsø, Denmark, who in many years has traveled in different parts of the world introducing the art of the Danish pastry making. The last 3 years, Danish pastry has been introduced in leading bakeries and hotels of Canada, and now Mr. Glitting has finally arrived at Neepawa for the purpose of introducing his famous specialties to the population of the town. He is working in cooperation with Seaborn Brothers, where displays and demonstrations are being made today and tomorrow as advertised elsewhere in this issue. Okay, 75 years ago, 1949, Neepawa was visited Saturday by the large army caravan from the Prairie Command, and people of the town and district were given an opportunity to inspect the vehicles and modern equipment used by Canada's peacetime army. 50 years ago, 1974, Sergeant Ernie Mikulak is the new officer in charge of the Neepawa RCMP detachment, replacing Corporal Ove Larson. 1974 is the 100th anniversary of the first Mennonite settlement in Manitoba, and descendants of those first pioneers are celebrating July 28th to August 4th. The Pioneer Days Festival will be held at the Mennonite Village Museum in Steinbach. And lastly, 20 years ago, July 2004, Hannah Taylor likes ladybugs, small places, and reading Anne of Green Gables. But most of all, she likes having a special place she and her family call home. So perhaps it wasn't that surprising that the 8-year-old Winnipeg girl, the granddaughter of Jack and Lorna McDougall of Neepawa, would want to raise money for the homeless. But what probably was more surprising was the way Taylor's ladybug jars took flight, raising over $150,000, including $900 at the Lily Festival in 2 short years. Taylor, who was at Neepawa last Friday to open the 8th annual Lily Festival, started her quest to help the homeless when she was just 6 years old and saw a homeless man eating out of a garbage can. And here we have a picture of Treasure Susky. She was awarded the Neepawa Rotary Club's Clerk of the Month in July of '74. She was a hairdresser at Anderson's Beauty Salon. Treasure. I think that's Treasure Dudenhofer. Anyways, well, that is it for the reading this week of the Neepawa Banner and Press. So thank you very much for joining us, and hopefully we'll see you another time. So bye for now.